the most.
No, you get to talk more.
So let's talk about the argument Dan and I just had for this podcast. We were duking it out on Zoom. Unfortunately, my punch didn't reach across to Vegas from Atlanta.
And my shield didn't work. I tried to shield my face with Buddha. But guys, welcome back for episode 3. Today, I want to talk about something that Greg and I have actually built, and it's going to be amazing for staffing agencies, I think. A lot of the paper screening that takes up a lot of time is completely automated, and we'll kind of walk through that. But we thought this was appropriate just because Greg just did a ton of hiring lately, and I'll let him speak on that. But I think after implementing this, we're probably saving at least no joke 80% of the time that is spent going through these resumes.
It's a painful process. It's just, and sometimes it's hard for me to get my mind wrapped around how beneficial AI can be. And recruiting is a little bit like sales, right? Top of funnel. That's where all the time consumption comes in, weed through the prospects, in this case, weed through the applicants. And there's no shortage of applicants. What the shortage is of the time to go through them and vet them. And depending on the size of your business, right? If you're a small to medium sized business, you should never underestimate how important good people are in your company. A lot of people just try to fill a position. Like one of Dan and I, you know, I've talked a little bit about this, but I've had this philosophy in my businesses. In I would like people to come in and it turn into a career. And right, a job not hard to find. And it's just when your criteria is much higher, trying to find that really good person or persons, this takes a lot of time to weed through all these applicants. And it's something I've struggled with or my managers, either one, whether it's one of my managers recruiting or whether it's me. I look at all the hours I've spent, right? And then you're almost like you're demotivated when you have to jump back into it, right? You just lost somebody, you lost a key person. It's going to be hard to fill that position. And it's like, oh my gosh, I got to sit down and go through all this again. You look at your calendar next week and you're like, all right, I got to block off majority of my calendar because I'm focused on recruiting. So I was just so motivated to build this app for personal reasons, right? And this is one of the things I love in building BadAAAS is because I have all these years of experience of dealing with pain with so much manual stuff and labor costs, and in this case, labor costs, training, turnover. And a lot of businesses don't put a number on that, right? It's just, we don't know. Yeah, we don't like turnover. We know it's expensive. It's just like clients, right? It's much, the cost to acquire a client is 10 times greater than keeping a client. So it's built off a lot of previous pain to let AI do what it does best. And so, Dan, it's a really cool app.
If we've learned from anything, it's that the best things are built off pain. Introducing this thing we don't have a name for yet, but it's been saving quite a lot of time. And I think it will continue to do that. I want to talk about this a little bit,
But
but
Dan, hold on. Is the name that important? Is it really that important? What's more important, does it deliver results, right? That's all I care about as a business owner. Show me the results, show me the money. I don't care if it's called Buddha.
well, Greg, that's why you need me on your team because somebody has to care about this stuff. If it's not you, it has to be me.
Where's Buddha when you need him?
I don't need Buddha right now. There's no argument here. We only need Buddha when bad things happen.
Before AI, Dan, you are always stressed. You are always grabbing Buddha, trying to soothe yourself, right? Calm yourself down. That was before AI. Now you rarely need Buddha.
I agree. I was bald before I met Greg, and then once I started using AI and automations, I just grew a full head of hair. I
Well, what
just,
the heck happened to me? I'm using the same automations. What happened here?
well, Greg, you walked so that we could run.
Oh,
Without
I
you,
didn't
this is
realize
impossible.
that.
So,
Okay.
if you're a younger guy right now, 20s and 30s, and you lost hair because of these hiring problems, then don't worry, you might be able to grow it back after I show you this. But this is a sample right now of 130 candidates. And this may look like something that you get, right? You freaking wake, it's Friday right now. You're going to wake up on Monday. You got 130 new ones to go through. Good luck. Or someone else that you have to hire full time. So what this dashboard is going to do is just give quick numbers. How many total, how many average are matching our requirements based on their resumes and videos. And I'll show you what, the options are. Some people use videos in their hiring process, some don't, and you can add or subtract certain things. Second thing is flagged candidates. These are 9 people that were flagged as qualified. We know that they are probably the best matches of the 130. And then pinned are just ones that maybe your team going through some reason you're like, I want to look at these later. So that's just the quick dashboard view. We can click candidates and get a more accurate view. So what happens is this dashboard is connected to your favorite platform, ZipRecruiter, online jobs, even Upwork, whatever you're using, even Indeed. Every new candidate that comes through, it's going to come right here and have a conversation with AI. So literally on Indeed right now, if somebody applies and asks a question, or in ZipRecruiter, we have an AI chatbot that is going back and forth and just asking the basic questions that you or someone on your team would normally ask. So I could click on Donald for a sec, right? I'll click view details. Right away, I can just see 55% match, 84% trust score, and I'll talk about what that is. One conversation, what he's hiring for, etc. So I can just get a quick look, but if I want to dive deeper, I can see that too. So average response time. Not only is the chatbot going back and forth and asking these questions, but one of the questions the chatbot is asking is specifically is, hey, send in a video and a resume. So how long on average do they take to reply? And then how long on average did it take for them to meet whatever requirements were asked for in the chat? So in this case, right, if we're asking for a video or if we're asking for a resume or whatever else you ask for, we want to time how long it took for them to get that. Just because we know how engaged they are or how serious they are about the position, right? They're looking at a bunch of positions, especially on ZipRecruiter. So this just helps us understand how serious they are about this position specifically, or if they're just going out and applying to anything possible.
Oh, Dan, let me bring up the other thing that this has really helped with. So, the other thing, right? The other things that we do so many things with BadAAAS, but one of them where we're running Facebook or Google ads for businesses, and it's all about speed to lead, right? How quick can you capture it? But it's the same thing here because the good candidates, they find a position, right? It's competitive getting the good people. Yeah, not that hard to get the average mediocre or low level person. So one of the things that I really enjoyed is, man, we're engaging these people like that, right? And then we're keeping the conversation going, and it's a huge element on how quick you can get to these really good candidates.
How quickly, how much money you can save, or even time if you're doing it yourself. You don't have to pay someone to do this full time. If you're a staffing agency, somebody probably does that. They don't have to, right? We can just spend time focused on the people that are serious or relevant. So at this point, I can either flag it or pin it. Flag is a good thing on this platform, but you can also pin them for later. Flag is sometimes automatically done if the AI believes that it's found somebody that's actually relevant. So other than that, it's scanning the chat, giving you a summary of the chat, a summary of the resume, and it's scanning for additional items. So in this case, it's scanning for a video and a resume. Where is it scanning? On these platforms, on Indeed, through email, online jobs. It's literally reading the chat, responding to them, and then identifying what needs to be selected. So if I have a resume, I could click on this resume and it would take me there. This is a broken link, but whatever, if they send a Google Drive link, a Google Docs link, that's what it's looking for. So you can specifically ask them to, not you, but the chatbot. So we saw that there were 8 flagged. So these were the ones that were flagged, probably like the better ones of the bunch. So Kevin Lewis had a 72%. He has a video here. He has a resume. I can view his profile on LinkedIn because, again, if you want to ask for that, you can. So now I can see that. This is a dummy lead, by the way. I don't even know how this is a real person, but it just linked us to a real Kevin Lewis. And then lastly, it's view jobs. So you can see in the bottom left, it's already trying to redirect me to online jobs. So, job they were searching for, in this case, vice president of marketing. You can reference, or somebody on your team can reference what happened or reach out to them and do the interview. So that's just a quick overview. Obviously, you can see how much time this would save because it's all done through AI. But Greg only asked us to implement this after he was done with the hiring. So we're going to have to wait until we're hiring again to really see.
That's not true, Dan. I said, let's use it. And you're like, no, it's not quite ready yet, Greg. You're going to put me through this pain again. I mean, you brought up something like you talk about, okay, I looked into staffing agencies. I've done many of them. I don't know. I've tried many over the years. I've never found a good one. Oh, Greg, we're going to vet the candidates. You're only going to get the qualified ones, guarantee, et cetera, et cetera. I just, and again, there's good ones out there. Does it work for some people? Absolutely. I'm just saying my own personal experience, 100% could not find a good one. Total waste of money, total waste of time. And then I was always had a hard time with the percentage that they wanted. I'm like, wow, you guys are taking a chunk out of this. That was problematic. And Dan, you said something about hiring somebody. Recruiting is not easy, and it's not like it's a skilled position. The AI takes out a lot of the guesswork. It does take over some of that. It can handle some of that skill that you need in a human. But I've tried some of my best managers to recruit, and they don't do that well with it. And then it's back to me, and I look at the value of my time. I'm expensive. And the last thing I want to be doing is my time, which I think is worth, I won't say on the podcast, but it's not cheap. But then I calculate that, right? Over 20 hours, 25 hours of that last work week. I'm like, look how much it cost me to recruit this week. What could I have been doing inside my business other than this, like pedestrian stuff, weeding through all these candidates?
100%. Yeah, and I think we waited too long. If you want to say it was my fault, you know what? I'll accept that for now. But if you
Oh,
guys
you
want
say
to,
for now.
oh
Oh,
yes, for now. You can see we have a demo going, but I don't know. This was just something that we put together for a client of ours, and we just thought, why not give it to everyone? Like this is not just for them. This was something that originally was custom done, right? But think about, I'm probably thinking right now, like this would really work for me possibly. Like if I could just have AI do all the paper screening, and then you just get on, ones that were flagged by AI, right? Like done with all the people that have the best matches right away, and you don't have to wake up on Monday thinking, damn, what am I going to do now?
yeah, and this
So
was a big recruiting agency, 100 people. And I was saying to Dan, it's like, hey, we can make this like for the average business. Depends like much of it you want to use. But Dan, you had a really hard time with, you practically gave this thing away. So I was thinking, like, you should hear in the comments, right? Like, what does the audience think this thing is worth to the average business? Because I don't know. I think you way undersold it.
it didn't exist when I sold it. So to be fair, I didn't know how valuable it could be because there was nothing to base it off.
Yeah, why the developers hate I love you because hey guys, look what I sold. I just need it built by Friday.
I take so much offense to that because I freaking built this thing. Me only.
Dan, all the time trying to take all the credit. The poor developers in the background working till the middle of the night, right? Sometimes through the night to deliver stuff that Dan sells. But Dan takes the credit. He sold it, he built it. He's the client services department, he's the finance department, he's the accounting department. Okay, Dan, that's okay.
Yeah, working on it. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, where do we go from here? I just wanted to share this with you guys. Something we've been working on for a couple months, and had some staffing agencies look at it, and they thought it was pretty valuable. So why not make a video? A lot of people are searching for ways to hire with AI. There's a bunch of competitors out there right now doing interviews. Do you really trust that? I just thought the best place to start with it would be paper screening, because all it's doing is reading text and giving you the best data based on what you're looking for. I thought at least that would be valuable for the people that are skeptical about AI. And I get it. Doing staffing for X amount of time, how can an AI beat you? I speak from experience, right? I've been cold calling for so long, and there's just like the best bots out there right now, which we'll probably make another video about that soon.
So, Dan, what, like, if I'm the average, whatever, a recruiting agency or a business, right, that has a pain point, like either hate recruiting, they're not that good at it, their time is better served somewhere else in the business, whatever those needs are, right? Doesn't matter. Uh, Think like my question, right, as a business owner, nothing is a one size fits all, right? Like I have certain requirements that I'm looking for. I'm very specific. Hard is it to tell BadAAAS, like, this is what I'm looking for, right? This is my criteria. How hard is it to plug it in then for this app to be customized to me?
Yeah, so we thought about all the major ones that we would plug into. Like the first test we did was online jobs. That's why you saw like in this demo version, it was linking to online jobs. So we already know ZipRecruiter, Indeed, online jobs, Upwork, those four we already have API for. So that's like no, I would say probably 80% right there. But if you have like integrations, it would really just be a matter of looking at the API and getting back to you within 24 hours. All we got to do is look at the API and make a decision with the development team. So I wouldn't say it's difficult.
Well, okay, not exactly what I was asking, but that's also just a good answer for the audience, right? Because that matters. But what I'm talking about is every business owner has their lens they're looking through, right? On what's a qualified candidate. And yes, we have some really good analytics built into the AI because there's a lot of common attributes for what a good candidate looks like. But what about my criteria for what a good candidate is for this position? Can I plug that into the app? Do I tell you guys up front and then you put it in? Do you charge me for that? Like what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. What this is doing is actually only getting data from people that have responded. So imagine right now I'm on Indeed. I post a job posting. The only way I get candidates is if they apply and the chatbot initiates a conversation. So how is it getting all this match information? It's getting it based on your description of your job. So whatever you're posting, it's going to use that as the criteria to match because that's what you're looking for. You're posting exactly what you're looking for. So the AI is just using your data to make that decision.
So no real customization necessary then for our clients.
I may wanted to do something crazy. We could possibly make that happen. But no, I'm really
That,
simple.
hey, look, it's a step in the right direction that you said we could possibly make it happen. You didn't say I. Good job. That's progress.
Thank you. I put my pants on today as well. But yes, it's only just using that as a match, but outside of that is possible. You know, just have our developers get back to you. You know.
Out to the developers, guys. Thank God Dan gave you a little love in a podcast. So you
Yeah.
guys do all the hard work. You just don't get any recognition. But
I'm glad you
shout
guys are
out.
happy with your $2 a week. You guys, I feel like are overpaid, but you appreciate the work you do, I guess.
Dan, I believe you'll come in Monday with no developers after they see the podcast. So it will be you doing all the coding. So
I'm just, what do you call that? Foreshadowing. I'm future pacing right now myself.
all right, good stuff, man. Like it.
Yeah, that's it. If you guys are interested in like more about this dashboard or how you can use it in your business or for your clients, we're gonna drop a link in the description. We have a bunch of free goodies in there in the BadAAAS community. So if you want more information, just let us know in that first link. Join and get all the free templates. We have stuff about AI agents for your sales process, for your marketing processes. So get the freebies, click that first link. Greg, anything else you want to mention?
No. Looking forward to the next podcast. We're gonna talk about next go around.
We're going to talk about how to hire developers using this dashboard.
Looks like that's gonna be a forced upon us topic, not one I was planning, but okay, that could be real.
Well, hold on, because if I don't post it, that may not happen, but it's going up, so it's happening. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys.
See you.